Alrighty guys, welcome back to Geek Tech, and today we're starting a brand new series. Don't mind the Griffin. The new series is called For Science. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through different video games, and I'm going to break down those questions that everybody has about them, down to the actual science of it, breaking it down bit by bit, point by point, doing the math, to actually getting actual answers. Essentially, Mythbusters for video games. We'll take advantages of bugs. We'll kind of go through everything of how it is. Essentially, the first test, and the way I'm going to start this is going to be with Ark Survival Evolved. One of the biggest questions that I ask, and that I've been looking for a definitive answer for a while, is the difference in taming. Now, when taming in Ark, obviously this won't apply to passive tames, but for aggressive tames or knockout tames, you get to the point where you have to knock a creature out. Now, once the creature is knocked out, you're no longer in any danger unless you're out in the wild. But you come to the point of deciding whether or not you're going to, or not kibble tame, but starve tame it. Me, I prefer to do starve taming for two very specific reasons. One, I don't have to worry about food spoiling, which especially when you're not at the rate where you've got kibble yet, and you're trying to tame something using prime meat. You starve it out until the point that you know it's getting ready to tame. It's going to take all the meat that you're going to give it, and it's going to tame out. That way, you go get all your prime at once, you bring it back, throw it on the dino, poof, Bob's your uncle, dude's tamed. But which one is actually faster? Now there is speculation based on the fact that starve taming is faster because of when you have a dino and you're constantly putting food in its inventory. If it eats as soon as it becomes hungry, the food bar goes back up to the top and stays there for a couple of seconds before it starts to go back down again, which adds to the end of the tame time. Now that being said, on a small dino, like level 5 or 6 or whatever, that's not really going to matter much to me. If that food goes up and stays up there for like a minute or two or 30 seconds, it's going to stay there, but it's only going to eat a couple of times anyways, depending on the dino. But if you're taming a dino with prime meat, when it comes down to it, low levels, it's not really going to matter between starve taming or not, except for the fact that you're not having to constantly go get meat. That small amount of time isn't going to make any difference. But when it comes to higher level dinos that need more food, though, that 30 seconds could add up. So what I've done is we are on the map Ragnarok. Now I've built 2 taming pens, technically 3. But I've built taming pens, and inside of the taming pens, you'll see that I have put 2 Rexes. Now, just for the sheer fact of coming down to science, I wanted to get them as close to each other as I could. So I spawned in 2 female Rexes at level 150. 150 being the max level tame that you can get on a legit server. At least it was the last time I checked. And I will redo this math and everything if they up it or add new dinos, or if there's a specific dino that this doesn't apply for. So what we're going to do is I'm going to knock out each one of the dinos, and I'm going to tame them using Kibble. Now the reason I'm going to use Kibble is so that we don't have to worry about that pesky prime problem. Now I could tame them out with prime, but the one that I knock out I'm not starve taming, I'm going to need a large supply of prime meat in order to do it, to keep the prime from constantly spoiling. Which can be done, and it's not really that big of a deal, but we're going to start first with Kibble. If you guys want to see me do it with prime, let me know in the comments and I'll gladly redo the test, if you think that might have something to do with it. But we're going to use Kibble for this specific test. Now, that being said, Rexes, as everybody knows who's used Kibble, they like Scorpion Kibble. Scorpion Kibble being the best Kibble for them. Now, also part of this test, what I've done is there's a third Rex. That would be this guy here. Another female, 150. sitting over here already knocked out. Now this Rex has not been given any food at all. None. I'm just letting it starve. Now this is not part of the whether the tame effectiveness or the tame speed or taming effectiveness is any better if it's starved or not. This specific dino is here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every type of food that a dino can eat, specifically a carnivore, and I'm going to put into him every type of food, and we're going to get out the exact number of food back that he would get per food that he eats, all the way down to raw meat. And I'm going to do raw meat, cooked meat, fish, everything, all the way down. The only thing I'm not going to do for this specific guy is berries, because he doesn't eat them. So we won't bother with that. Now, if there is interest in seeing how much an herbivore gains back from food that it eats, I can do that as well. And I'm talking vegetables, vegetable cakes, sweet vegetable cakes, the different berries, and stuff like that. It's not that big of a deal. Just let me know and I'll gladly do the work. No problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this one here, and I'm going to run over here to the fridge, and inside the fridge I've put down each type of food that's in here. Now, the prime meat in the fridge lasts for an hour and 44 minutes, so we will get to that and we should have time. I should be able to make it from here over to that without any problems. But what we're going to start with is cooked fish, cooked lamb chop, cooked meat. I'm even going to try the jerkies because I'm not sure if they eat them or not, but it's still one of the meats that can be eaten, so maybe he does. We'll start with everything that isn't going to spoil on me immediately after I take it out of the system, though raw mutton and raw prime seem to last longer, it looks like, inside the fridge, which means it'll last longer in your inventory. But we'll start here. Alright, so let's get over here and check this out. So we got this guy here. He's probably never going to tame. I'll probably just kill it by the time I'm done. But we'll start off nice and slow. So he's fairly well starved. He's currently sitting at 3110. So on and so forth. That it is constantly going down. Unfortunately, you can't stop it from going down. If I knew how to do that, I would. But let me get out my calculator just so I know that I've got an exact number of when this stuff is going in. So we get an exact result. His total food is 10,800. Now, mind you, these are level 150s. No liberties have been taken to up any of the changes on the server. The server is exactly how it would be if it was a legit server, except for the fact I can see the damage I'm causing. And I allowed clipping. But that's because it makes making these pins a lot easier, and I don't have to fuss with all that stuff and have to put it in mods. So there's no mods, there's no changes to their stats in any way. There's no increase or decrease on food. So we should be good to go. Now, let's start off and see exactly what... Alright, so his food is currently at 9282. 9293. So he gained about 10 food for that cooked fish. So he gained back 10 hunger. Alright, so let's try cooked lamb chops. 89. Oh. Well, that was a significant difference. He jumped all the way up from 3289 to 3335. So he gained about 50 hunger back from cooked lamb. So that's a significant difference. Alright, so let's try cooked meat. And I missed it. I wasn't paying attention. Let me run back over here and get more cooked meat. We need to make sure that we're paying attention. Shame on me for not paying attention. Alright. Now I could have caught that in post and you never would have known, but hey. It's all good. So let's come back over here. Cooked meat in his inventory. Alright. Currently at 233. We'll wait for it to get down to 9330, okay? Alright, there it is, 9330. So he gained about, with it being at 9330, he gained about 25 off of that. So that was about 25 cooked meat off hunger he gained back from cooked meat. So let's see if he'll eat cooked meat jerky. How about that? We'll wait for it to get down to 9340. So he also gained 25 hunger back from the cooked meat jerky. All right, so how about cooked prime? Cooked prime fish meat. We're gonna go for cooked prime fish meat. And I've got this up on the screen, so you should be able to see all of the same stuff that I'm seeing. If I miscalculate anything at all, feel free to let me know. And I would gladly make the change and give you credit for catching my mistake. It's a science, my friend, so that's why we're doing this. All right, so out of the cooked prime fish, it looks like he also gained about 25. That looked like 25. All right, so let's try cooked meat jerky next. We'll do it at 93.65. All right, so he gained 50 off the cooked prime. All right, so let's try the prime meat jerky next. We'll wait till it gets down to 9,400. Yep. All right, so prime meat jerky was definitely 50. All right, so let's try raw fish meat next. Starting at 75. Oh! Okay, so he gained 25 hunger back from raw fish. Now, raw meat. So, 94. He hasn't eaten it yet. 91. 90. That's interesting. After giving him the raw fish, his hunger is still going down, but he's not eating. Now, that could be a bug with the system, but we will double check that to see maybe if he eats fish slower. Or maybe him eating fish, now he doesn't want raw meat at all. That could actually be a thing. So he does gain 50 off the raw prime meat. Alright, so raw prime mutton next. We'll do raw prime mutton next. Alright, so we'll do it at 95.40. So he gained 50 off the raw mutton. Let's try the raw prime fish meat. That's interesting. He only gained 20 off the raw prime fish meat. It looked like. Now, by comparison between raw mutton and raw prime meat, he only gained 20. I want to test that one more time, though, just to make sure. We have the meat, so we might as well test it. See if we can get it to repeat itself. Because it looked like 20 to me, but I want to double check. So from 90. Okay, so that was 25. So he actually gains 25 hunger off of raw prime fish meat. Alright. Now let's check to see if we can get raw meat to work now. I've given him a lot of random stuff, and he didn't want the raw meat before. And I don't know why, but we're going to try anyways and see what happens. Try for raw meat. And then we'll go for scorpion kibble. That'll be the kibble that it wants the most. Alright, so let's let it get down to 95. But I think maybe he's gotten smart with me and he's decided. So he gained 50 hunger back off raw meat. That was interesting. So the raw meat actually gives back the same amount as the raw mutton and the raw prime meat along the lines of hunger and the cooked lamb, but a lot of the other stuff, cooked prime and prime meat jerky also do 50. Interesting. Alright, so let's try the scorpion kibble. I want to see how much food the scorpion kibble gives back. 97. I'll let it get down to 9,700. I'll bring you guys back when we get down to 9,700. That way we know exactly, and I'll kick it into his inventory and we'll see what happens. If it force feed him a bunch of narco. Don't want him waking up and eating me. That'd be bad. Alright. So we're getting closer. We're down to 9710. I wanted to be at 9700. The point, whatever, doesn't really matter. Around about it gets to the time of 0.9 of 9700 is when I'm going to kick it into his inventory. To see what happens. Apparently it's getting cold. Okay, so that was only... Okay, so the prime scorpion kibble gives him 80. That was exactly 80 that he got out of the prime scorpion kibble. So, the prime scorpion kibble gives him 80. So that's going to help us with our math. Now that we've got all this direct information, we'll know exactly how far down we have to get their food to go in order for them to be completely starve tamed. This should be good. Alright, so we have the numbers that we needed. And the sun's starting to go down, so I'll bring you guys back as soon as the light comes up. Alrighty guys, so here we are with the Rexes. There are 2 Rexes. Count them 2. We have 1. Level 150 female Rex. Green with a little bit of white on its back. That's going to be Rex 1. Then we have Rex number 2. All green. Level 150 female. Did you see that? 150 female Rex. I'm going to knock them both out. Not at the same time, of course. So that way we can do this one at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock out the Rex. And then I'm going to sit in its inventory, and you're going to watch its inventory as it eats. All the kibble's going to be there. All 33 that it's going to need to tame out are going to be there. So that we can see exactly how long it's going to take. And I'm going to run the timer from the very beginning to the very end. I will start the timer as soon as the Rex goes down. I will move the timer into the appropriate place so that the whole time it's taming, you'll be able to see it. Through the magic of video editing, though, you'll be able to see it in a time lapse, so it won't take you an hour and a half. It may only take you 4 or 5 minutes. And we'll kind of go from there to see what happens. We'll start at the very beginning with this Rex. Again, the first one is going to be all the kibble is going to be put into the Rex's inventory. It's going to eat it at its leisure, and it will tame out. I will be there to keep the kibble, the narcotic going into it to keep it unconscious, because let's face it, I don't want to become a meat snack. I know that would be entertaining and funny, but maybe next time. Anywho, let's get this party started. Let me go close this door, because now that I've said that, I've forgotten about Mr. Food over here, Mrs. Food, who will wake up eventually, and is going to be in a very right mood all by themselves. So, close that door so she can't get out. Let's come over here and take down Rex number 1. Pop. Now I am using an Ascendant long neck rifle. That rifle is currently doing, I think, let's see, it is 742% damage, so... And I'm using the Shocking Trank darts, the really good ones, because I don't want to take up too much time knocking it out. Alright, so now it's making its run. It's trying to get away from me. The next shot should take it down. Alright, the dino is down. The timer is started. So let's get into this. So we can see the taming bar and everything. Put the kibble in the dino. Put the narcotic in the dino. We shouldn't need any more than this. But if we need more, I will run out and get it. So we're going to steadily keep this like this. Let me go grab a little bit more narcotic just to be safe, so we don't run into a problem. Why isn't the door opening? Ah, wrong button. All right, so let's run over here. Bounce. Here we go. Grab some narcotic out of the safe. And no, I did not legitimately get any of the narcotic or the safes or anything. I spawned it all in just for this experiment. Alright, so let's close the gate. That way, any of the dinos running around here aren't going to interfere with us. put this in here. Let's throw the narcotic in and get this party started. Now, we're still waiting for him to eat for the first time. So remember, the clock's going to be sitting right here, as you can probably see it now, showing you as the time progresses. So, and we go out and we can see the female Rex and everything that's going on. Nice. All right. See you guys in a few minutes. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A drop tame dino. Kibble was sitting on it the whole time. It looks like my Kibble calculation was off on how much it was going to need. The information that I got from Dodo Dex calculator. So it seems that the drop tame dino took 1 hour and 24 minutes and 19.63 seconds. So we're going to take that down and we're going to compare that to the other one as soon as we're done. All right, so let's move on then. So I only used 26 kibble in total, so the calculator might be off by some. So 26 times 80 equals 2080. So I'm going to need his food to drop 2080 in order for it to work. So I only used 26 kibble. All right. All right, so exactly what happened here is that the first Rex tamed out, he only used 26 out of the 33 kibble. I'm not entirely sure what that is. The calculator may be off by some reason, or there may be something else going on. But we will assume that the other 150 female Rex will also only use 26 kibble. Now, if we take the information we gathered earlier of him gaining 80 food per kibble eaten, it means we're going to have to get his food to drop down 2,080 points in order to starve tame him out. So, let's go ahead and get this guy down. It's 2 shots. 3, 4, and 5. And the Rex is down. The timer starts. So we're going to run down here to his inventory. We're going ahead and throw in the narcotic. And his food is at 10,800. So we'll do 10,800 minus 2080. Means we need to get his food down to 8,720. As soon as his food gets down to 8,720, we will throw in the kibble and call it a day. Let's go ahead and make sure we've got all the kibble we need, since he's perfectly fine there right by himself. Run over here real fast. Alright, 26 kibble, ready to go. Ooh. And as I thought, our little test dummy for food did actually get back up. So, we'll worry about him later. He's not that important. Let's run around. We'll go ahead and jump through the top. That way I don't have to open up the door, which I know probably would have been faster, but hey, who cares? Alright, so we're in here with the with the Rex. The Rex is sitting here. We want his food again because it being 10,800, we needed to drop 2,080. So we need his food to get down to 8,720. As soon as it reaches that point, we will throw the kibble on him and call it a day. He will be tamed and ready to go. So again, the timer is going to be sitting right here the whole time. I won't have to flip out to the other side this time to check to see how far he's tamed until he gets starved enough. So again, with the wonderful magic of video editing, this is only going to be 5 minutes for you, but it's going to be like an hour and a half for me. So enjoy. Alrighty, guys. So welcome back. Here we are at 8731. Our target hunger is 8720. We are going to put the kibble on him at exactly that time to see when he will officially tame. I will not stop the clock until he is completely tamed and we get the pop-up on the screen that says to name him. That's when it'll matter, and then we'll come back and we'll compare the times and get an exact answer. Here we go. All right, he's eating it now. Eating it fairly quickly. So at 15%, 19. Burning right through it. I'm just hoping my math is right now, because if it's not, it's going to screw up the whole thing. All right, he's eating. He's still eating. Uh-oh. I'm worried about my math now. And there we go. The Rex is officially tamed. That stops the clock. Now let's go back and let's compare the times and see which one was actually faster. Alrighty, guys. So what we have are the results and like the final setup from our test. And when it comes down to drop taming, which means you drop the dino and you put the food in it immediately and you wait it out, compared to the starve tame, what I have here is a definitive answer. Both level 150 female Rexes, they both tamed out at level 222, so that was not affected. But it looks like drop taming is actually just under a minute faster. That's interesting. So everybody that says that starve taming is faster or drop taming, now mind you, with this difference, it is a difference of less than a minute, which means that it's a difference that does not really matter. I mean, when it comes down to it, it is literally so close that it would not change much at all. It actually looks like the starve taming actually takes it takes longer. But that being said, taken into consideration, if you take into account that the food is still going down the whole time he's eating, maybe the time could get a little bit closer to 124, an hour and 24 minutes and 19 seconds. So this is our definitive answer. It appears that drop taming and letting the dino do what it does and just focusing on its keeping it asleep is actually faster than actually starve taming it. Well, guys, I appreciate you joining me for this little adventure. Thank you so much. I apologize if it was more boring than I may have let it out to believe, but I feel like we actually got a legit answer here, and it appears that the difference is less than a minute. It is downright less than a minute. You've got an hour and 24 minutes and 19 seconds on the drop tame, an hour and 25 minutes and 8 seconds on a starve tame. It is literally less than a minute. So, well, if you guys like what you saw, hit that like button for me. Leave a comment if there's anything else that you think of that you want to be put to the test on video so that you can see the results. I'll gladly do the math for it. We'll science the shit out of the whole thing. Not a problem. If you have another game you want me to check out the facts on and the thoughts, let me know and I'll give it a go. Alrighty, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, let me know. Hit that subscribe button. Have a good night.